You're listening to Wellness Junkies.
Where wellness gets real, not perfect.
Welcome back to Wellness Junkies. It's Amy. Welcome to the show, Lindsey Kaszuba. Did I say it right?
You got it.
Okay, so I am very pumped to have Lindsey here. She is a wellness mentor, founder of Health Club Collective, and mom of three, who helps women reach their healthiest weight without losing their minds in the process. Her work centers on body trust, simple habits, and a sane, sustainable approach to having more energy, more confidence, and finally feeling at home in your body again. So another little blurb that she sent, which I think is a really important one for our listeners, is because I deal with this, I feel like all the time. You're doing all the right things for your health, taking the supplements, doing the workouts, following the experts, and yet you still feel stuck. Your energy's up and down. Your weight won't budge the way you hoped. And every new plan seems to work until it doesn't. That's exactly where Lindsey steps in. So that is amazing. I want to hear more. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm so thrilled to be here. I can't wait to chat with you.
Yeah. So Lindsey's coming to us from New York City, and it's probably still snowy there like it is here in DC.
It's wild. There's like 4-foot snowbanks in the street, and pushing a stroller through it is not fun.
Yeah. Yeah. We were just talking. She's got 3 kids in New York City. So that's tough. I had one and moved to this area when I was pregnant with my second, and it's tough being in the city with 3 kids, but it's also very fun.
It is. It's fun, and you live where you do your thing, so it's like convenient in a lot of ways. And This morning I had to move like a trash bag out of the way so I could push the stroller, and that part of it's kind of gross, but
right, New York living.
This guy behind me was like, "That's a New York mom right there." I'm like, "You know it."
Exactly. Well, I'd like to start the show with a weekly high and just kind of talk about something that was meaningful to you this week. Could be something big, could be something small, but just something that gave you a smile, brought you joy. I'm going to start with you because I have to think of mine.
Okay. No, I have one right away. My
good.
My 7-year-old is very into singing, and she has her talent show coming up at her school. And so yesterday she auditioned. And It was the sweetest thing. I was smiling like ear to ear. It was so cute. She got on stage, took that microphone, and just like sang her little heart out. And I was so proud.
Aw, that's amazing.
It was so sweet.
What did she sing? What play? What's the play?
By Roseanne Bruno Mars.
Okay. She doesn't play around.
She was not playing around, no.
Oh my God. I can envision it. That's so cute. Was she happy with her performance?
She was. She was a little nervous because she's never sang directly into a mic by herself, but she crushed it. It was so great.
Oh, that's so awesome. And that's great that you got to watch.
I know. It was really fun. Yeah. The show was in a month. So I'm like, we have time to practice. But she did great. It was so fun. Proud mom moment.
That's good. Well, I have a proud mom moment too. My younger son, who's in 10th grade in high school, is on the basketball team. And I've been going to a couple of his games recently, the home games. And it's just really cool to see when your child kind of grows into himself. Because I feel like a year ago he was playing basketball and he was confident, but this year he's really confident and he's just getting in there and doing really well and shooting well and just all the things that, he's been working on. He's doing really, really well. And it's just really nice to see him come into his own and be confident and just crushing it at basketball because he loves it so much. And it was just really a joyful moment to watch him just shining out there on the court. It was just so fun.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
That's the number one thing. I'm I want to build confidence and resilience in my kids. So if she can get up on stage and he can get out there and shoot that basketball, I'm I did my job.
I know. I think it's really important. I actually grew up dancing and singing, doing musical theater and all that kind of stuff. And I think it really does give you a lot of confidence because you have no choice. You have to get out there and you have to do it. And the more and more you do it, the better and better you get. And I think it really sets you up for life doing, whether it's dancing or sports or things where you have to put yourself out there. I think it's super important for kids.
It builds grit. And I think that's important in life.
1,000%. Okay. So let's get into you and let's talk about what you do specifically as a wellness mentor and how you're helping people.
Yeah. So you kind of already said it, but I'll say it in my own words too.
Yeah.
Is I really help women start to understand what their bodies are saying to them and starting to understand and trust those signals and those messages and those symptoms so that ultimately we can have more energy, more confidence, feel really good in our body to really kind of unlock our healthiest weight yet without completely losing your mind in the process, because, there's like 101 things we're told that we need to do for our health, and it's overwhelming. And so I think really like simplifying it and helping women figure out how to do what's actually important for them specifically and fit it into their real life is the way forward in wellness, because it's just, there's 1,000,001 things that we could be doing every day, and we don't have enough time to do them all. And so it's really figuring out what's feeling good, what's giving us energy, what's making you feel good in your clothes, your body, all of the things, and how we can fit that into real life.
Yeah. So how do you do that? I mean, everyone's different, but I think a lot of it, to your point, is kind of like mindset and the mental game of it. And I think that's sometimes the hardest part to unlock. So what is it like? How do you kind of, if you're working with someone or you're talking to someone, right? Like, how do you start them on that process?
Yeah. I mean, exactly what you said. There's so much to do often with wellness, and it depending on where you're starting, if you're already very into wellness, if you're not, if you want to get into it, it's a different starting point for everyone, but it's really, it honestly is the mental, emotional work is the hardest part. And when you can kind of start to figure out where you feel stuck in wellness, is it food? Is it movement? Is it the mindset? That kind of gives us the starting point. So everyone starts in a different place. And it's really figuring out, okay, what do you feel like is the most important place for you to start? And I think nutrition and movement that's a common one, because people are like, I want to move more. I want to, start lifting weights. I want to eat cleaner. I want to eat more balanced. Okay, but that's a big thing. Like where do we start? So it's really kind of like, I love getting into the weeds of people's lifestyles and like, tell me everything.
I know.
So
you
it's
probably
really
just learn so much too.
It's so much. And one of the coolest parts about the work that I do is the more that I learn and help other people, it helps me in some way too. And it's just the coolest thing. I love it so much. But it's really, with nutrition, it's okay, do we want to eat a bigger variety of food? Do we want to start eating more balanced meals? Like what is it specifically? But with the mindset stuff, it's really, okay, figuring out like where are you doing the things that you feel like you should do because someone told you to do them, or maybe you've just been doing them for a really long time and you're on autopilot and you just don't know where to focus because there's so many things to focus on. And if you read the internet, which we all do every day, it's telling you to focus on something else. And it's extremely overwhelming. And almost every single person that comes to me for that reason. I'm so overwhelmed. I feel stuck. I don't know what to do and what to focus on. Please help. It's like
just tell me what to do.
Right. But it really is. It's the mental work and going under the surface and sort of reprogramming the subconscious mind and like your neural pathways to understand that it can be simple. When you figure out what your body is saying to you and what the symptoms that you're having are communicating with you, you can start to understand, okay, it is nutrition that I need to focus on, or maybe it is the core childhood trauma that I need to really focus on. And I'm going to do that with a therapist or whatever the modality is. So it's really kind of figuring out like the nitty gritty. And I think we all know that. Like we all really know if we sat with ourselves for a second and just asked, like, where do I feel like I need the most support? Where do I feel like I need help? You're going to be directed to it's food. It's movement. I need to find a mental health person that can help me. So you really kind of shift and your body knows, like when I think that, and I know we'll get into this a little bit more, but it's just really like when you go internal versus external, it starts to change the game and really kind of clearly can tell you where to start, what to focus on, what to do, what you need, what to do to fix these problems and these solutions with a scientific solution. And like, sometimes it's throwing spaghetti at the wall to see, okay, that's not it. That's not the thing. And it's just building evidence of, oh, that actually is feeling really good for me. Like, let's stick with this area, this thing.
Yeah. How did you get into this work? What is the story behind you? I feel like I read something about it, but I'd love to hear more.
Yeah. So ever since forever, high school, maybe before, I was always and very, very interested and curious in wellness, all things wellness. I always said I want to help people feel really good in their bodies, but like I didn't want to go in the medical field. I didn't want to be a nurse. I didn't want to be, and I was like, I don't even really want to be a nutritionist. It's too much school.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know. I'll go and follow my other passion, fashion. So followed that for a while. And kind of very long story short, got to this place when I was in my early 30s, had just had my first baby, and was at this place in my career where I was just like, this isn't it. I'm very good at what I do. I was working at a beauty company doing brand partnerships and events and operations and like a million and one things. It was a startup. And I was very good at it and I enjoyed it and I liked it. And I was like, there was like this deeper pull inside of me that was like, we need to explore something else. And so going down the social media rabbit hole one day, I stumbled upon IIN, which I'm sure you know is the Institute for Integrative Nutrition. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. I'm interested in this. And I had no interest in being a health coach or a coach in general. Yeah. And the more I thought about it, I was like, oh, this would be really cool because I want to just learn more about me. And I kind of, through my 20s, through high school, college, the interest and curiosity turned into an obsession with staying thin, with doing all the things to stay a certain number on the scale. And if that scale went up a pound, it was like, we got to restrict calories. We got to go on a diet. I got to cut carbs. I got to work out more, like very obsessive, like very disordered. And got to this place where I was like, it just wasn't feeling good anymore. And did it ever? No, not really. But that's what I thought I had to do. And it was the baby at the time was an infant. And I remember just looking at her and I was like, this has to be simpler. Like I was standing on the scale and I'm like, and that was really kind of the start. And that went into the finding IIN. So then I found it and was just like, I feel like I need to do this for my own health so I can learn more about nutrition, like learn the science behind it, learn the how people's brains work with all of this stuff. And I was like, I don't want to be a coach. I just want to do this for myself and my family. And very, very quickly into the program, I had this like light bulb moment where I was like, this is it. Like, this is the thing that I really wanted my whole life and just, needed to go through all of that to kind of find it and get to this place. And so I remember asking my husband, I was like, is it okay if I join this? And I was still working full time. Had this baby, was pregnant with our second. COVID had then started to happen. So I had enrolled in IIN in 2019 and I started in January 2020. And obviously mere months later, the whole world shut down. So I became a full-time student, a full-time employee, a full-time mom, and I was pregnant with our second.
Oh my God.
And I'm still looking back, I'm like, I have no clue how I did it, but I did it, finished, got certified. And then I left my corporate job and was like, okay, we're going to launch our own business and see what happens.
That's awesome.
And there were like a lot of iterations through like how I helped people, but it always came back to like, I want to help women feel really good in their bodies and like have energy, because that's the number one complaint that I hear and heard is I have no energy. I feel horrible in my body. Like, what do I do? And I was always that person that my friends, family always came to, like, help me lose weight, help me eat better, help me do that. So it was just like a very natural progression, and using my own experience of very disordered eating has helped me tremendously understand what people are going through. And I'm very grateful for all of it.
Yeah, that's an awesome story. And I love that you found your passion and what you love doing. I feel the same way about this podcast and being in this world. And it's very cool to hear other stories about finding your passion. So, okay. So speaking of this world and the dieting culture and the hamster wheel and all the things, like, how do we stop fighting our body, especially, and I'm sure you work with women that are perimenopausal or menopausal, like midlife, when things really start changing in your body, like, how do we stop fighting it? And then how do we what are kind of a few simple things that could make a big difference, especially during this phase?
Yes. I have a handful of postmenopausal women that love me. I love working with them. So it really, I think, boils down to the internal versus external. We are so conditioned to, and we're constantly inundated with, we need to eat high protein. Now it's fiber. Then we need to cut carbs. We need to make sure we're within this much fat. We need to make sure that we have this many calories. We need to do strength training now. You make sure you drink your water. Like, there's so many things. And if we're trying to do them all, we're doing none of them well. And it's really it's the conversation of the internal, listening to what is happening in your body, specifically as an individual, as a woman, and understanding that all of these other things are broad recommendations. Yes, right. They all work in their own silo, but they don't all work for everyone all of the time. But that's what we're sort of fed to believe, is that you have to eat this much protein, or like you're not going to lose weight, or you're not going to gain muscle. And yes, there of course is science behind that, but it is understanding, like, how does this function for you? And how is this operating on your day to day? Does it fit into your life? Is this giving you energy? Is this draining it? And if the answer is, yeah, it's giving you energy, but it's impossible to do in your life, okay, how can you simplify it? If it's working for you, let's figure out how to make it really, really easy to do so that you can say yes to it and not push it to the bottom of your list. And if it's not feeling good for you, that's not the thing for you to focus on right now. And so I think it's really this conversation of let's start focusing on us as an individual internally, instead of, well, my friend is doing this meal plan or this injection and it's working really well for them. That's what I should do. Sure, try it. But if there is no filter of, is this working for me? Is this supportive of me where I want to go with my goals? Then what's the point? And so with midlife, with perimenopause, with the changes in our bodies, it's really understanding that it's just a change, and you can do hard things, and you can understand that your body is changing. And yes, it might take time to understand what those changes mean for you and how they will fit into your life, but it's not impossible. And it is really just understanding what needs to shift in your life. And that's all it is. It is a shift, a physical shift with your habits, but also a mindset shift of the things that work for you might not just be working anymore. And that's okay. And we can do hard things, and change can be uncomfortable, but we've all changed. We have to change. We've all gone through all of these changes that have gotten us to this point in our life, and you can go through another change. And I mean, women go through a change every month. So, right. We're used to it.
Exactly. And I feel like you can eat certain things during certain times of the month and you can in others. It's just like the way the body works.
100%.
You were talking about energy, because I feel like that's always my biggest problem, and my friends, like, everyone's tired. No one has energy, even if you get a good night's sleep. Like, is there, I hate to say broad sweeping recommendation, but is there something you see across your clients that has worked from an energy standpoint, other than, well, I guess sleep is important, but
Yeah. I mean, sleep is, of course, important, but, we all have an energy bank, and we are constantly draining it. From the moment we get up, we're looking at our phones, thinking about our calendars, thinking about the next thing. I do this too. Like, really, one of my focuses this year is moving through the day more intentionally and more slowly, instead of just like, what's the next thing? What's the next thing?
Yep.
But it's really understanding that, like, that energy bank is kind of drained all of the time. And you can feel it physically in your body. And so just looking at energy as a currency of everything that you do, everything you eat, everything you look at, everything you listen to, everything that you do for movement is giving you energy, or it's draining it. And so if you look at it in that way, and kind of like a bird's eye view, really is like taking a bigger lens of, okay, from the moment I get up, am I looking at my phone? Drains your energy. Am I eating a nutritious breakfast? Could give you energy, could not. Am I having so much coffee that it's actually doing the opposite of what I want it to? Maybe. So it's just really looking at it in a kind of zoomed out lens of, are you filling that bank, or are you draining it? Do you have a good sleep routine? I think so many people are like, well, I slept 8 hours, but I wake up and I'm so exhausted. It's like, okay, what are you doing right before bed? Like, of course, that's the whole, like, get off your phone an hour before. Like, I don't do that. I think that's impossible. And so, but having some sort of routine before bed, that does cut it. I'll be on my phone up until 15 minutes before bed. And then I close my eyes, I meditate, I put my feet up the bed. Like, I have a routine, and it's just like a kid. It's just like a baby. You put them in a sleep sack, you swaddle them, you give them a bottle, you give them a bath. Like that routine tells their bodies like it's bedtime, and then they go to bed. Sometimes, but it's really,
exactly.
It kicks that circadian rhythm off, but like, we need to do that for ourselves too.
Yeah.
And I talk to, almost all of my clients are like, well, I sleep long, but like, I'm like, what are you doing right before bed? I'm on my phone and then I turn my light off. Okay. So let's have something, even if it's a 5-minute buffer in between those two things, that's going to add energy to your day. And so I think it's really looking at it in that way of the food that you're eating that either adds or drains your energy bank. The movement that you're doing adds or drains your energy bank. The things you're looking at on social media adds or drains your energy bank. Like everything that you're doing. And so I think just really creating more boundaries around yourself of, is this fueling me or is this depleting me? Is this getting me closer to my goal of having more energy or is it not? And sometimes with work and, certain projects, like we don't always have that choice. So start making those decisions on the things that you do have a choice on, and you will see a significant impact in your day. And then it's just, food obviously can be a big help with this. I had a client a couple of years ago and she was like, I have no energy throughout the day, but I feel like I eat really well. Like I'm moving, I'm active. I was like, okay, walk me through your day. What are we having for breakfast? And she was having toast with jam and then a coffee. And I was like, let's just shift this a little bit. Like, let's make sure we have a little protein, a balanced meal with my simple plate rule, which I'll tell you about in a second. And it just makes eating simple. And she shifted it. And just 2 weeks later, she was like, I am shocked at the amount of energy I have throughout the day. Like I don't have morning cravings anymore. I don't feel like I'm crashing in the afternoon. A simple breakfast tweak. And that's all she had to do. So it's just, again, it's very personal and very dependent on you, but looking at it from a bird's eye view of, is this giving me energy? Is this not? Like asking that question.
I really love that visual because I'm like thinking about it like a cell phone battery, like what's giving me energy and what's depleting it. Like, am I charging or am I? And you're right. I mean, some of the times you can't change what you're doing, like if you have a meeting or, and things that drain you. But I think to over index on the things that give you energy, and you may not know what those things are, but if you start thinking about it, I think having that visual is helping me to think about, okay, what's adding? And even like, I think people you spend time with can either drain you or give you energy.
100%.
So like, I know, cause I'm an introvert at heart. And so when I go to something social, even though I love being social and I love seeing my friends, it depends what kind of social activity it is. Like if it's like more networking or people I don't know, or where I have to do small talk, I know it's going to drain my energy. So like, I know that, okay, the next morning, I just want to have a little time to myself. So like, I'm not totally drained, so 100%. I think it's just thinking about all those little things, but I really like that because it's sometimes when you eat and you think about, okay, what can I add to my plate that's like more protein or more nourishing? It's the same idea with energy, but I never really thought about it that way. So that's a great visual. Yeah.
Good,
Tell me about the simple plate method you were just explaining.
My simple plate rule, it's one of my clients' like favorite approaches, especially with eating, because it just makes it easy. So we always hear, eat a balanced meal, eat more whole foods, eat more color, like get a variety. But like at the end, what does that mean? Like, what does that really mean? Is like somebody that doesn't know what a balanced plate is, that's extremely confusing. It's like, okay, well, do I have protein and a whole grain or like, so the simple plate rule is something that I came up with to just make it very, very easy. And it is including 4 things on your plate at every meal. And it is a protein, a carb, a fat, and a color. And your protein can be meat. It can be legumes. It can be fat is very easy. It's like, okay, have an avocado or have some olive oil. Right. The color is your fiber. That's your vegetables. That's your fruit. And then the carb, preferably a whole grain, whole carb. And so it just makes it easy. It's like, okay, there's 4 things. It's a protein, a fat, a carb, and a color. That's it. And if you eat those things, that's a balanced meal. And then you can play around with the proportions of,
right. That's what I was going to ask you, like how much?
What's the quantity of each that I have? For me, I don't like to eat meat every day. It hurts my stomach. And so for me, I eat a lot more beans and quinoa, which can hit both carbs and protein. And fiber. So it's in fiber. So it really just, it is, again, very personal and dependent on what works for you. But when you start to understand that, it just makes it easy.
So for your 3 meals a day, like that's the formula you use.
That's the formula. when I pack my kids' lunch, I'm like, okay, what's the protein? And I started having them help me. I'm like, what protein do you want? And they're like, the meat stick. I'm like, great. What fat? Cheese stick. Great. What color? Salad. I'm like, perfect. So it just makes it very easy to understand. And even for kids, for anyone that has young kids, like it's teaching them what a balanced plate is too. And I love it because I use this literally when I cook meals for our family. I'm like, okay, what are my four things?
Because I think it's like the color's easy. It's like when you think about it, the protein's easy, the fat's easy. The fiber, I think, is the hardest one because I'm like, I always forget. Like beans have fiber, and like I just that's a harder one. I feel like to add in. I mean, if you're eating a protein that also has fiber, like beans, like that makes sense. But like, what's a good kind of go-to fiber for someone to add in? Like breakfast, I feel like maybe a little bit easier because
avocado is really great source of fiber and fat. So there's a lot of foods that are both. Avocado, like a half of avocado. I have a client who was like, well, I eat a quarter of an avocado and I'm really hungry after. I'm like, eat the whole half. Like, we don't need to worry about the calories. It has a great amount of fat in it. There's so many vitamins. Like it is a great food to have, and fiber. So it's just, and that's the color, right? Like color with an avocado, it's also fat, but color is the fiber really, because fruits and vegetables have fiber in them.
That's true.
And so there's fiber in other things like beans and quinoa, things like that. But the color is fiber. And so for breakfast, it's your fruits, it's avocado. Like those are great options. If you do like chia seeds are really great. So that's great for breakfast. And then for your other meals, like cruciferous vegetables, broccoli has like 4 or 5 grams of fiber in like a half a cup. So it is, I have a list of high fiber foods that I give my clients because I think it is confusing, but it really is, it's color and it's whole grains. Like those have the most fiber. And so if you are following that, it's just, okay, how much color can I put on my plate? And that is a great way of getting your fiber, because I think fiber can be hard to remember. And that's why I say color. Cause I'm like, let's make a colorful plate and there's fiber in that.
Like it was funny because the other night I was making dinner and it was like, I got these actually really good Trader Joe's meatballs, which I think were new and I hadn't had them before.
I get those, like the little chicken ones.
Yeah, but I hadn't had them before and they were really good. So I made those and then I made broccoli, but I'm thinking about it. I put olive oil on the broccoli. So I guess that kind of counts for like the fat, even though it's not, it's on there, whatever. And then I guess it counts for the fiber because you have the broccoli. So it all works. And then my son had more carbs than I would have had, but I made him mac and cheese with the broccoli and the meatballs because, he's a growing boy. But for me, I was like, okay, these two are fine. And then
I think a lot of women forget the carbs or intentionally don't use the carbs.
So my husband and I are always like, we want as least carbs as we can. So like, in that meal, like there's no carbs really. So like
the broccoli has some carbs, like it does. But I love alternatives to brown rice is great. Quinoa is great. Barley, things like that have a lot of fiber. But I love alternatives to pasta. Like I love chickpea pasta. I love red lentil pasta. Chickpea pasta to me tastes so similar to regular whole wheat pasta. Yeah, and it is red lentil pasta is just so good. Like it's a little more like al dente, but it is so good. And then you're getting a lot of protein with your carb. Like it just,
and then it's not like a whole plate of it. It's just like a little side because those have a lot of, not a lot of carbs, less carbs than regular pasta, but they have the fiber.
But they do. Right. Well, and that's the thing. If you take the carbs and subtract the fiber out, like that's the actual net carb, right? So if that product has a high fiber content, the actual carbs you're getting is a lot less than if you were to eat, a regular pasta that has little to no fiber in it. So it is all carbs.
So
it's a lot of like habit stacking.
Right. What are your thoughts on like the breads and bagels and all that kind of stuff that are high? They're like, I think they're high protein, high fiber, where like they have carbs, but much lower carbs. It's like 2 or 3 net carbs. Cause I sometimes will do that especially like if I want to do a bagel for breakfast, have those like high protein bagels or like a high protein piece of toast with avocado. What are your thoughts on those sorts of things?
Yeah. My favorite bread, and I think it is phenomenal with avocado toast in the morning, is Ezekiel bread. It's great. Yeah. Has fiber in it because there's nuts and seeds. Like, yes, there's some carbs, but they're all great carbs. I always say, look at the ingredients, and all of those brands are very different. So if you have a specific one, we can talk about it after, but really look at the ingredients, because if the ingredients are not real food, then I'd say opt for a real bagel. Like you're, you know, like you could get your protein somewhere else. If the ingredients are minimal and it's real food, then great, go for it.
Yeah.
I think it's very dependent on the brand.
Yeah, no, you're right. I think some brands are definitely better than others. And the ingredient, like all the organic brands are really good and the ingredients are pretty clean and there's only very few. Occasionally I'll buy some from like the regular store that doesn't have organic. And then I'm like, this probably isn't the best thing, but it's like for the moment, it's fine. Okay. So just speaking of weight beyond the scale, because as I've gotten older, like I weigh myself less and less because it's just not accurate in the way that I feel and the way that my clothes fit. So I've kind of gotten it out of my head. I mean, I do once in a while, but it's just, I find an annoying just thing to deal with. Cause it's so like, you could literally be like 5 pounds heavier day to day and lighter day. It's just crazy. Yeah. So I like tend to do how I'm feeling in my clothes, but how do we like get that? I guess like, how do we have that mindset shift around like thinking beyond the scale and like simple kind of nervous system friendly habits that help with that scale obsession?
Yeah, the scale obsession is really hard. I don't weigh myself because when I do, I can feel that obsessiveness coming back. And I'm like, it's just, it's not healthy for me. And I honestly I don't think it's healthy for most women. I have one of my postmenopausal clients, actually. I was like, she was weighing herself every morning and it was stressing her out. And I was like, please stop for at least a month. Because you need your mental to catch up. And when you see a number on the scale and you're like, I've been working out, I've been eating healthy. Maybe you had an extra glass of water today and not move the needle. Maybe you haven't gone to the bathroom yet. Like there's so many components to weight and pounds. And so I think, the scale is not telling us the whole picture. And it can be detrimental if you're trying to lose weight because it's not the best mile marker on the things that you've done. I think it's so much better how's your energy? Do you have more energy? Do you feel better in your clothes? Are your clothes fitting better? When you look in the mirror, are you happier about what you see? Are you happy about what you feel? Are you confident? Like there's so many are you sleeping better? Do you feel like it's easier to eat? Like there's so many other components that affect weight. And I think getting to your healthiest weight is so much more about how you feel than what the number is. To be honest.
Well, and also if you're lifting weights and you're getting stronger, you're going to weigh more.
Right. That's one of my personal goals this year I'm turning 40 this year. And I'm like, I want to put on more muscle. And I'm already like, I feel great in my body, but I'm like, as you get older, like, yes, muscle is important. And I'm like, I want more muscle. I want to gain 5 pounds of muscle this year. And so I have been weightlifting and I've been doing more. And I stepped on the scale like a month ago and I honestly like never do. And I was like, whoa. And that's when I was like, I can't do this anymore. I've put on muscle and therefore I weigh more, but I feel so great. And I'm like, why did I do that?
I know.
And there's like this moment of, even for me, and I do this for a living, of this like, oh, that number, I don't like that number. And I'm like, that, you know what? This is why we don't weigh ourselves. But it's just really, if you can build these habits around yourself, and I think not weighing yourself in the morning and having another mile marker and mine is energy. Energy is my number one currency. I have 3 young kids living in New York City, running a business. I want to feel good at the end of the day. In the morning, yes, of course, but I want to be able to play with my kids when they get home from school and not feel completely exhausted. And that really determines everything I do, honestly. And so I have all of these things built into my day that improve and support my energy levels, but really understanding, like, when you get out of bed, what is the first thing you do when your feet hit the ground? Maybe even before your feet hit the ground. Are you looking at your phone and like looking at your energy as a bank of, okay, maybe instead of looking at my phone first, I take 3 deep breaths and then I look at my phone. So just building in these like tiny little simple habits, like taking 3 deep breaths and just saying, okay, how do I want to feel today? And I do that. I'm like, okay, 3 deep breaths, very deep breaths, not like, I think a lot of time that's how we breathe. And my intention for the day is today I want to feel calm and grounded. It's that simple. Like, it doesn't have to be this whole long affirmation that we say to ourselves and we have to repeat in the mirror and say, I love you. And like all these things, like it can be so simple, and really building these things into your day. And then just like, okay, how do I want to feel today? And then everything that you do should support that intention. If I want to feel calm and grounded, that means I have to go through my day slowly and not rush. I have to eat breakfast. And this morning I sat down and ate breakfast with my kids. And I am like really, really, really personally focusing on, let's stop rushing through the day and screaming at everyone because we need to go.
Right.
My husband even said this morning, he's like, why aren't you rushing? And I was like, I'm really working on it.
It's so good because then it's like your cortisol is just like spiking all day. I mean, that's literally how I was all through. Like when my kids were little, I was I didn't have the mindset that I have now. And I rushed through everything. I felt like I was like running on empty for 10 years, which is like one of the reasons I started this podcast and started looking into this stuff, because I got vestibular migraines, a long story. But it's like you could just be running on empty forever. And then all of a sudden it's like you are not feeling right.
Right. It gets to this point where your energy bank and many other banks are completely drained. And you're like, now what do I do? Like, I've been doing all of these things and I feel horrible. I feel so exhausted. I feel so overwhelmed. I feel so stuck. And it's really understanding that it's not you. It's the way that you've been going about it. It's the approach in which you've been trying to tackle it. And it's not your fault, because that's what diet culture and even subconsciously, it's not always directly said that we as women have to handle everything and be overwhelmed and do all the things. And it's
we put pressure on ourselves. I mean, that's
right. Correct. Exactly. But it is this like cultural dialogue too, and that is consumed at a very, very young age. And so it's just really understanding, okay, the way I'm going about my day, is this supporting where I want to go? And if it's not, the coolest part is you have full control over changing it. Most things you have full control over changing. And so just when you realize that and really understand that wellness, health, weight loss do not have to be as complicated as we make them. They really can be simple. When it starts with this focus on the internal, like asking yourself, what do I feel like I need to be supported right now? What do I feel like I need? It really starts to shift. And then you have to create a pocket of silence around yourself so that you can hear the answer. And honestly, that is one of the hardest parts. But when you start to get into it,
for people,
it's the hardest part. But when you understand that it doesn't have to be you're sitting on a meditation pill, crisscross applesauce for 20 minutes to understand the silence, it can be 15 seconds when you open the refrigerator to go get breakfast, pausing and just saying, okay, what do I feel like my body needs to fuel itself right now? And then just listen for 10 seconds to say, okay, I feel like I need eggs and toast and avocado. Do the simple plate rule. Boom, done. Meal is done. But you took the time to intentionally choose and listen. And that makes all the difference.
Grabbing a bar and
like grabbing the quickest thing and then running out the door. That you can make it easy. You can make it quick. You might have to think a little bit in advance to do that, but that's okay. That can happen. And it's just really like being more intentional about the things you're doing, the things you're saying yes to, even like the dinners you do with your friends, like all of these things. If you just pause and create a little bit of a pocket of silence in our extremely connected world of constantly being plugged into things and noise and what we listen to and what we read, and the world is weird right now and it's not getting less weird. So it's really understanding like, how can I shift?
How can I control my days? Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. I think the morning piece, like I do not look most of the time, do not look at my phone in the morning for a little bit, because I find that if you like literally grab your phone from bed, immediately your cortisol spikes, immediately you go into reactive mode, and it's not helpful. At all. So it's like I wait a little bit until maybe I have my coffee or something just to like check things out, because I used to do that and I just felt like you're starting the day like with
start the day. It's like a springboard.
You're like a fight or flight. So now it's like, and I'm just thinking like 3 kind of takeaways here is like, okay, the energy bank, think about that during the day. The simple food plate, I love that. Like even those two things I think are really intentional to think about. And then just getting up and like, thinking about your intention for the day, or like making your bed, or just doing something productive that's not on your phone, and a quick breath. And then you're like, good. Like even
and then you're good.
shifting those things can help. And it's good to have the reminder, because I think we all sort of know those things, but you get into a habit. Like I was in this bad habit, and I still do it, but I'm definitely more of a night owl. So at night, like my husband goes to bed earlier and we'll be in bed, but like I'm not tired. And so I'll get on my iPad and I'll like binge on my Tell Me Lies and whatever. And sometimes I find that I like need to do it. It like feel like it's like my way of having alone time.
Yeah.
So that's my excuse at least. So like occasionally I'll do that. But to your point about goals this year, like one of my intentions was like, okay, I'm going to try to go to bed earlier when he goes to bed because it's healthier, and like just try to go to sleep and not have to watch a show to go to sleep or do all these things. So I have been like most of the days doing that. And like occasionally, I'll be like, I just need some downtime to myself, and I'll just like watch my show. But whatever, I fall asleep afterwards.
I think even adding something into your current routine before you even change anything, like a chamomile tea or something like that, that just starts to kind of cue your body. Like, okay, we're gonna start going to bed a little earlier. It's like one of my favorite nighttime wellness things that I do is I have a chamomile tea with a powdered magnesium powder, and it tastes delicious. It just like is like the kickoff.
It's a good wind down.
Wraps up the day. It starts to wind down. And then I have time with my daughter, who goes to bed a little later than the other two. And we have tea together and like chit chat about our day.
I wish I liked tea. I've tried to get into tea a million times. I just like, it is not my thing. I don't like it. Like I'll drink water at night or like a seltzer. I just cannot do the tea, but I do like a magnesium gummy, and I do like breathing right before bed. It's just like I have a routine.
Great. Yeah.
But yeah, I think to your point, anything that sort of winds you down is good. Okay. Hold on one sec. I had another question I wanted to ask you before we got into our wrap session. I have to find which one it was. Okay. Yeah, this is the one. Okay. Before we get into our wrap session, this is a broader question about the industry. So like, what do you think needs to change in the wellness industry to better support women, especially in different stages of life? I mean, there's little changes and it's getting better, but how do you feel about that? Like, what do you?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest problems with the wellness industry now is everywhere we look, we're being sold something that's going to fix all our problems like yesterday.
Yep.
So it's quick fixes, like being promised quick fixes. And honestly, now with AI, all the marketing is very good. Like we all feel seen. We all feel like this company is talking right to us and our problems and our solutions. But it's understanding that is just feeding the problem of this internal versus external issue of the marketing is great and it's catchy and it gets us. But understanding that this new gummy vitamin might not cure all your problems, or that this new workout you can do in 5 minutes isn't going to make you lose weight in a month. So it's understanding that like good health, wellness habits do not give you instant results. That just, unfortunately, that's how it is. And so it is really, I think, understanding that we need to have a more personalized approach to wellness. It is not a collective thing. It is not what works for me is going to work for you, and that's it. Like the chamomile tea. I love chamomile tea. You do not, doesn't work for you. So it's really understanding that the wellness industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and we're constantly being sold something. And there are so many things to give us quick fixes. And it's just, I think once you really understand that, and I think we all know that to a degree, but then we're like, oh, but this one is it. Like, this is the thing that's going to change the trajectory of my wellness or my weight loss or whatever it is. But understanding, and like even with GLP-1s, such a great tool for people that need it, really is. But there's so many people that are taking them that don't truly need it, that just want to lose 5-10 pounds because they want to be leaner.
I've done it.
Right. Like I feel like almost everyone has done it. And it is just understanding that it is just the next thing. It is just the next thing that promises quick fixes. And if you haven't changed anything about your day, the way you approach your meals, the way you approach wellness, the way that you have the kind of mindset about your wellness or your body or your relationship with food, then the moment that you get off of those or anything, what do you think is going to happen? everything that you had before is going to come right back. And so it's just really understanding that wellness is such a mental thing. And it's not always about food and nutrition. It's such a deeper process. And when you can really see that, and I think that is kind of hard for people to bite off sometimes, is that, well, if I just eat better and I work out more, like I'll get where I want to get. Sure, for a little while. But if you don't actually address the root problem of why you have disordered eating or why you're emotionally eating or why you're skipping your workout all the time, you're not actually solving the problem. Right.
I mean, it's really getting back to those basics. Like, there's more marketing than ever now, but even back in the day, there was marketing, there was other things, just was less of it. But the mindset is the same of like people trying to sell you things. Now it's just more of it and less discretion and all this. So it's more overwhelming, but like those things have never really changed. So it's like, to your point, going back to the basics, going back to like what works, the mental piece, I think is a really good takeaway. Okay. Getting into our wrap session. So switching gears a little bit. What is your favorite wellness or beauty hack? We talked about a few, but give me your favorite.
So many.
Yeah. Or give me a few.
I'm like the queen of habit stacking. Okay. You want
I love it.
So okay. So for wellness, one that I really, really love to do is in the morning after I do my breathing, I get out of bed, I do my skincare first and I do like reusable eye patches. Yeah. The best. And I do them while I do my movement practice. So it's like my ultimate morning habit stack because it just wakes my face up while I'm moving or stretching, whatever it is for the day. And it's the best. And
wait,
then
what
I also
reusable ones do you use?
So I love the barefaced ones. I just got a new pair that I can't remember the brand that I've been testing out, but the barefaced ones are really good. They're very thin. Like they last for like a year. Like
oh, wow.
They last forever.
Okay, yeah, because the ones
best.
I use, I just throw away, but reusable.
No, yeah, these are, you got to get reusable ones because you just like rinse them off with water and dry them and you put them back and you use them tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's the best. And good. They stay. It took me some time to find the ones that I like because when you're moving around, they just flop off your face, but these stick. Like I can do downward dog and they're on my face.
Oh, nice.
So I love that. That's like my morning.
It's a good one.
And then recently we have a gym and a sauna in our building, which I know, big privilege.
So nice.
But I've been loving the days that I go to the gym. I go to the sauna after and then I meditate in the sauna. So I like stack meditate in sauna and it is like solid. It makes me feel
I love sauna in the winter too. It's like the best.
It's honestly, it's the best.
Well, I feel like there's so much research around sauna and like, I don't know it all off the top of my head, but it's just so good for you apparently.
Yes. Yeah. Like if you think about like European countries, like they sauna like every day. Like, it's
like part of their, Yeah,
it's so great. It feels so good. And then beauty, I think like I love skincare. I love skincare hacks. But keeping it really simple on the outside and just realizing like beauty starts from within. And like if you eat the simple plate rule and you're hydrating and you're like doing these things that make you feel really good, like your skin will be better too.
Yes. Yes. Random side note, but what do you think of these? Because I actually am really tempted to just test it out, especially for like my audience just to see. But what do you think of these, I don't know what they're called, like these vibrating plates? What are they called? The like
vibrate plates.
Yeah. I see them everywhere and I've seen them for years, but now I'm like, should I try it? It looks like it would make me feel good.
You know what? Give it a go. I don't have one, but I love being a guinea pig for my people.
Me too.
I'm give me all the things. I love being a guinea pig. I haven't had it. It's supposed to be great for lymphatic drainage and all these things. It makes me laugh though. Like I see all these reels of people on their vibrating plate with their red light mask, like drinking a coffee with organic milk.
Brushing their teeth. I know. I'm like, I just want to try it and see what it feels like.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like jumping on a trampoline, like those workouts, like the bouncing and the moving. It's just like gets your blood flowing. And one of my favorite things for that is maybe something you can do at night if you don't do this is put my legs up the wall before bed. I lay
used
in bed.
to do it. I haven't gotten in a good, that's a good one.
It really drains. Like it drains everything. It just puts me into this like peaceful state where I just sleep so good. That's a great one. If you don't want to get a vibrating plate, try that.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. I used to do that, and I got to get back into the habit because that's such a great one.
It's such a great one.
I always feel good. Mm-hmm. Especially like when you're traveling, that one I always find to be really helpful. Okay, the next one we call our 5-minute flow. So you just got out of the shower, Uber is on its way. You have 5 minutes to get ready. Like, what are you throwing on? What's your quick go-tos?
Okay, so full body lotion, moisturizer every single time. I cannot go without it.
Yeah.
And then I have like a really simple skincare routine. I cannot skip it. Like it is just, I gotta get it. And so I would do that. And then these days,
wait, what's
I'm
your
like
routine? We want to hear.
Okay. So in the morning I do the Tower 28 SOS spray.
Yeah.
It feels so good. That is like I started using it like 6 months ago, and it game changer, just like really helps like tone everything. It feels so good.
Yeah.
So I do that. I do a vitamin C. I do a hyaluronic acid, and then I just do like my eye cream with my patches, and then a moisturizer and a sunscreen. And it's quick.
I have to get really in the minutia. What brands?
Okay. So Biosense Vitamin C.
Mm-hmm.
I'm from Florida originally, so like sunspots is like I'm constantly trying to get rid of sunspots.
Yeah.
That one helps. Hyaluronic acid, I don't have a brand that I'm like consistent with. I kind of just like, that's the one thing that I test all the time.
Yeah.
And then my eye patches, the JS illuminating peptide eye serum is what I use. It's great. It's very like brightening. I love everything. That's the magnesium powder that I use too. She's got a great line of products. JS Health. Australian. Okay. She's Australian. Great stuff. Very clean, very whole. Like you should check her out. It's great.
Okay.
And then my moisturizer, I use the Ulta MD, like barrier repair
with SPF
serum. Yeah. And then I just started using Color Science SPF, and it is wild. It goes in your hand white. And then when you rub it like changes color and it perfectly blends into your skin. It is wild. So, and it has 50 SPF. So I've been trying to up my SPF.
Yeah.
Just to protect the skin and all the things that I do to it. So that's my morning. And that takes me 3 minutes. Like, it's solid. Once the eye patches are on, I keep the eye patches on for my movement. And then it's like so fast. And that's it. That's my morning. I would probably throw my hair back in a claw clip and put on a sweatshirt and cozy leggings. It's like my favorite outfit.
Me too. Love it. Okay. And what is the one product you've repurchased more than you can count?
Okay. There's 2. JS Health Magnesium Powder. I've used it for years, and it is the best. It's kind of got like a berry flavor. So when I put it in my chamomile tea, the flavor is like so good. You could probably just do it in water too. It'd be great. That's amazing. And then Toops & Co. Do you know this brand? Toops & Co. Organics makes this like hydrating tallow stick. It's like a chapstick. Cannot live without it. Really? I use it every morning. Every night. I buy 2 when I buy them, so I never run out.
What's it called?
It's called Toops, Toups & Co. Organics.
Never heard of it. My gosh, I'm learning so much. I love this.
Very great products. Like very, very, very clean. Incredible product. I have one like everywhere I go.
That's a good one. I always have a million lip balms and a million different ones I try. So I'm going to. This is like the
only one that actually it like sort of even makes your lips feel more plump. Like it is so good, and I can't even tell you, it's divine.
Love it. Okay, how do you maintain your daily nirvana? Like, how do you keep balanced? I mean, we talked about a lot of things, but on the daily,
definitely all those things. Yeah, my morning movement is like how I wake. That's how I wake up. If I don't do it, even if it's like this morning, I knew I was going to go to the gym later. I did a 5-10 minute stretch. I have to move my body in some way. If I don't do that, my day, I'm thrust into motherhood. I'm thrust into everyone needing something. And then I go straight into work. So I have to have that time to myself, no matter what sort of movement it is. Yeah. That starts my day. And then really like it is, I buffer. I'm very lucky. I work for myself. I work from home. So like in the afternoon, I buffer time between work and kids. Even if it's 15 to 20 minutes, I can't just go straight from one to the other. I'm a worse mom. I need the mental space. Yeah. That helps me tremendously. And then like my nighttime routine, really, it is my chamomile tea calms me down, like my legs up the wall. I meditate every day. Like all those things are crucial and like my non-negotiables. Like they must happen every day. And the days that they don't, I feel it. And then something I've been working on is having more fun. Like I've been trying to have more playfulness in my day because it can just be very routine and very like, okay, we have to do this and get here and do that, all these things. And I've been trying to have more fun. And it's very helpful to have a 5, a 7, and a 2.5-year-old for that.
Yes, that's true.
And I'm like, let's dance, let's play a game. Let's, like they're very playful kids. So it is very
I love having a dance party. That's always fun.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, I don't know if you've heard of this. I'm actually going to have her on the show soon. There is this company or whatever called Early Birds Club. I think it's called that. Early Birds Club. I just went to it with a couple girlfriends a couple weeks ago, and it's a event. They do it at night at like different clubs, and it's from 6 to 9, and it's a dance party, and it is so freaking fun.
That's amazing.
And Early Birds Club, I think that's what it's called. And so I went with a couple girlfriends, and like at first we were like, what's going on? It's like all girls. You're like, well, this is weird. But then it's like so fun because it's very free. Fun. Literally danced for 3 hours, and we're out of there by 9:30. I'm like, this is amazing.
That's the best. We had dinner recently, and the family we went with, they were like, we're going to go to like a 5 o'clock dinner. Is that okay? I'm like, girl, I love an early dinner.
My favorite.
Like, this
and
is
actually,
the best.
I love doing an early dinner because I also like you digest it better, and then you go to bed not on a full stomach.
You sleep better, right?
But I read a million articles in the last year that's saying like 5 o'clock, 5:30 dinners are like the new thing. Like no one's doing late dinners. All the young people are doing early dinners, and I'm all about it. I love it.
I went to dinner with a girlfriend the other night, this past week, and we went at 8 o'clock. And I was like, I'm honestly
so
like in my pajamas drinking my chamomile tea at this point, and this is a late one for me.
Yeah, you're like, this is like energy
11.
drainer,
like,
just so you know.
Yeah, my bank is draining for sure. We were talking about because when you get home, you got to do your makeup, you got to take your makeup off, and then all the stuff after that, and then it's like 45 minutes later.
Right, you're like off your routine.
Like 5 o'clock dinners, it is.
Yeah, totally agree. Okay, and where can everybody find you? This conversation has been so enlightening.
Oh, good. It's wonderful chatting with you. I hang out on Instagram a lot. It's Lindsey Kaszuba Health. It's weird to spell, so I'm sure that'll be in the show notes.
Yes, I will have it in the show notes.
And then my website is lindseykazubahealth.com. That's where you can learn more about me, how to work with me, my programs, my course in Community Health Club Collective, all the fun things.
Yes, we will put it all in the show notes. Thank you so much for being on the show. It was wonderful having you.
Yes, it was so nice to meet you.
Thanks for listening to Wellness Junkies. For more on today's episode, follow us on Instagram at Wellness Junkies Official and find us on TikTok and YouTube at Wellness Junkies. You can also head to wellnessjunkiesofficial.com for expanded show notes, product links, and more. If you love the episode, leave a review and share it with a friend. We appreciate the love. Catch you next week. Bye.